Dear devotees and friends, good morning. Today, the Sunday, we are supposed to discuss on a different topic, but as because Sri Shankaracharya's Jayanti is there tomorrow here in America, so I thought that as because it is in the Monday, we will discuss about the Sri Shankaracharya in our Sunday discourse. We are discussing, as you know, the Vedanta, and our institution's name is also Vedanta Society. And what is this Vedanta? Who established this Vedanta? This Sri Shankaracharya. He didn't discover Vedanta, but he re-established, we can say, the true Hinduism, which is Vedanta. So today we will discuss about him. As because this philosophy is the finest expression of human history. He is a philosopher. Sri Shankaracharya is a philosopher. So before you start, let us chant from the Shanti mantra of the Veda. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahi Tejasvi na aditamastu ma vidvishabhahi. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om. So let everybody that in a Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu, whatever we are studying, and the knowledge that we are going to acquire, let it benefit all of us, the listeners and the speakers and those who are also present. So this way we are going to be benefited. And what is this? Knowledge. This is the speciality of the human society. They take benefit out of knowledge, and the knowledge comes from philosophy. What is this philosophy? It is a rational way of understanding life. That is philosophy. And if the philosophy is perfect, if the understanding is correct, then the life of that particular society, those who are following that philosophy, also becomes very happy. And we have seen that in the lives of the millions of Indians for the last 10,000 years. A group of people whom we call as the rishis, the munis, the seers, the sages, they dedicated their whole time, whole life to discover the truth. And what is that truth? See, they were very happy, prosperous country and a very good ruler, everything was all right, people were happy, but that happiness didn't satisfy them. So they started from there. We are happy when we get the food. We are happy when we are meeting the friends. We are happy when our desires are satisfied. But it is not permanent. Is there anything which is permanent, by which we can get the permanent happiness? So that on that the search began, and slowly, the students of Vedanta, you all know, I am just repeating, slowly they analyzed each and everything in the external world, and they shortlisted the whole external world in only 5 materials. And then analyzing those 5 materials, they understood each and everything is also temporary. Then they started searching within themselves. When they went inside, they found that there are also the trouble coming from the 5 objects and the 5 the organs going and enjoying those 5 objects. these 5 organs, if we can control, they controlled it. Then ultimately, the great thing that is the mind, human mind, that gave them the knowledge. And that knowledge is of one, that is called Brahman. They gave the name Brahman. Bringhati iti Brahman. The Brahman is all pervading and constantly expanding. There is no limit in it. So they were really wonderstruck. What is it? They came back and gave us that information. Then slowly, slowly, they started teaching that truth. It is very difficult to make people convince that whatever you see, all these multifarious things, is actually a reflection. In truth, it is only one. That is called Vedanta. So we are going to that. Shankaracharya is the great exponent of the Vedanta, is the philosophy that he developed, is the finest expression of the human history, its origin and the goal. So that is the complete way it goes. Without philosophy, human life is no better than animal existence. So only we are surviving, only we are eating. Is this the life? The human were not satisfied. No, it cannot be. So from here only. So friends, we have to understand, when we are discussing the philosophy, it is now on our table, it is all in the book, we know it, many of us, we have read it, but think about it, how these people, they understood the truth, they realized the truth, they lived the life according to that truth, then they felt that it should be given to the ordinary people who are very happy with some little food and clothing and the physical comforts. So they were going on telling that. Then came a time when a true philosopher, Shankaracharya, gives the humanity the torch of knowledge, with the help of which human can reach the goal of life, that is eternal bliss. Now if we just think what actually we want, sometimes we say money, sometimes we say the social status, and so many things. But if we go deep into that, what is the social status? Giving me the satisfaction, encouraging me to be happy. Because some people are clapping, some people are following me, some people are listening to me like this, and that is boosting up my ego and I am satisfied. But again, it is temporary. If I get a lot of money, I purchase a big house and then stay over there, and slowly, slowly, all my relatives are also, and the family, they are dying. And suppose I am living for 120 years, with 130 years, I am just all alone living there. Shall I be happy? The huge palace with lot of money, but I am alone. Shall I be happy? That also cannot give me the happiness. So whatever desire that we are having, to satisfy those desires, we are trying our best, but afterwards we find that that is not giving us the complete satisfaction. So what is the goal in our life? Satisfaction, which we call, in Sanskrit we can say santosha, contentment. It is not satisfaction, we can say it is contentment. So the contentment is the goal, and when we are contented, we are happy, and the happiness is the ultimate goal. So our goal was fixed. Now we have to find out the paths, how to reach to that goal, and these are the philosophers who they help us to achieve that. It is not the wealth, it is not the knowledge, it is not this all bookish knowledge, and it is not the social status. But our goal is to reach to that satisfaction, our goal is to reach to that happiness, complete happiness. So happiness is the goal, then we call it bliss. And the happiness comes temporarily, but the bliss is eternal. It never depends on anything external. From our own life we can understand it. We need not to go to the complicacy of the philosophical discussions. We can understand just from our own experience that the goal of human life is happiness, it is joy. And if that joy, the happiness which is called bliss becomes eternal, oh, what to say about that? So that is the goal. Now, if the goal we know, now we have to find out the path. Different people came and they said, of course, in the Veda, in the Upanishad, they only talk about the goal. And they are not giving you the why you should go over there. And why it is like this. The philosophers, they come, the great people, intelligent people, they analyze the whole thing and then rationally put it before us and say, this is the reason you should do like this, go over there and do like this. So they give us the path. So different philosophy on the basing on the Veda. There are some of them, they were not accepting the authority of the Veda. The Vedas are giving us the truth, but some people, they don't accept that. They say, now, why not this, why not that? So that is. So slowly, we will now concentrate on Shankaracharya, whatever the other people are telling, so many, because it is a freedom is there. So I can think anything in my own, I can explain, I can understand anything in my own way. There is no problem. Only thing the society will see that you are not making any trouble for the others. That's all. Otherwise, you are completely free. So it goes on. Acharya Shankara gave the humanity the best ever gift. That is the Advaita, and proclaimed, thou art that. So this Advaita. All scholars accept that Sri Shankara was born in a village named Kaladi in Kerala state of India. And his father, a pious Brahmin, was Shiva Guru by name, and he was well versed in the Vedas, and his mother, a simple-hearted pious Brahmin lady, was Aryamba. Scholars debate on his antiquity. This is the problem in the Indian the history. These great people, they never write about them. I was born on such and such day. Shankara wrote so many things. He could write about him. No. And all our great scholars, you will find the philosophers, they never speak about themselves. Why? That is the philosophy. I don't belong to this world, so I don't know. I don't want the name, fame, and all the praises. No, nothing I didn't. So I don't want anything. But I want to give the knowledge, true knowledge to the society. So they will be happy understanding this. Basing on these only all around people, if they write, that is okay. Otherwise, they themselves don't like to do it. And that's because it is a far away, even immediately after the Buddhism, we can say the Shankara came. The Shankara, and some people they will say he was born in 509 before Christ, 500 years before Christ. And others say no, he was born 600 years after Christ. So this is the debate. And how to solve it? They will be quoting from the different references. And it's a really, really very complicated. Just Shankara is quoting, this person means he was before Shankara. When suppose he is quoting Patanjali, that means Patanjali was popular in the society. So obviously Shankara knew about him, his philosophy, so he is quoting. He was quoting from the debating against the Buddhist. So Buddha was before him. By that way, they are going on trying to understanding. And who were the kings at that time? So this way it goes on. The antiquity is always very difficult. Shankara lost his father at the age of 4 only. Now we can understand almost an orphan, is the young boy of 4 years. He lost his father and the mother was helping him to grow up. But in this time, the society was a very excellent society. The Brahmin boy, naturally he will go to the school and the teacher will take care of him. It's not nowadays that you have to pay the money and all. Society, the king used to give the funding there, and also the children, they will earn a little, going to different houses and bringing some food, and that will be sufficient. Very simple living. So that they used to follow. At this age of 6 years, he went to Guru Griha. They used to say in Sanskrit, Guru is a teacher, Griha means house. And nowadays we can say the boarding. It is not like that. The family of the Guru, the teacher, and he was not alone, there were other teachers also, their families. So all of them, they used to look after these children, who used to go over there. They used to live with them, they used to work with them. So he will go and bring the faggots and helping. The small children used to collect that by that way, and sometimes they will be collecting some food from the nearby people. So that is the way it's to go. So Shankara, he went to the Guru Griha and in the house of the teacher and for the study. He, being a very extraordinary intelligent, finished the study within a couple of years. The Shankara was only 6 years, but he finished the study within 8 and he completed, came back. As a student, he composed, it is said, a stotra, praying to Goddess Lakshmi to help a poor lady. This stotra is famous as Kanaka Dhara, the rain of the gold. Kanaka means the gold, Dhara is the rain. There is a story that Shankara, as I was telling, the students will go out to collect some food from the neighboring people. So Shankara, the small boy, he went to a house and he was not knowing that the lady is so poor and she was not having anything. So she was naturally, a Brahmin has come and I am supposed to give a little alms to them. And this is in India. The Swami Vivekananda said that before the Britishers came, there was not a single soul died without food because of this system. If you go and stand before somebody's house and say, I am hungry, please give me some food, they will be so happy to feed you. So that was the tradition. Now, because of some economical, social problem, this is totally different. That was the system. Shankara went to that lady's house and the lady was very, very poor. She couldn't give anything. She was having only one amalaki. There's a small type of, not very tasty, but good in the medicinal value. The small, that one, the fruit was there. With great hesitation, she brought that. Couldn't say no. So she was hesitant that this is not actually a food and not a fruit also. But anyway, this is the only thing I am having in my store, so I am giving it to you. Shankara felt for that lady, the young boy of hardly 6 or 7. Now, you can accept it or not, the tremendous miraculous power. if you are pure-hearted, if you don't have any selfishness, and if your knowledge is always on the God, on the truth, whatever you want, that will happen. The Sankara prayed to the goddess of wealth, Lakshmi. And then it is said, the gold was coming down, the raining in front of that poor lady. So that is called Kanakadhara. We are not going to tell the different type of stories that it is there in the Shankara's life, so many miraculous power that he was having. At the same time, he was a jnani. He was not attached to all those things. He never tried to utilize all those for his own name and fame, only to help, the compassion. So a man of knowledge, full of compassionate heart, that was Sankara. At the very early age, with the permission of his mother, Aryamba, Sankara left his hearth and home to become a sannyasin, a monk. Again, there is a story. Naturally, no mother will allow, and that particularly Aryamba, his only child, her only child, how she can give the permission? But the Sankara, he told mother, I like to be a sannyasi, I cannot live like this. But mother won't give the permission. So it is said, the Sankara went into the river to bathe, and then suddenly a crocodile came and it caught the Sankara. Sankara then called the mother and said, Mother, I am going to die. The crocodile is going to eat me. Give me the permission so that I can take the last moment sannyasa, the monastic vow. Atura sannyasa, the last moment I am taking the vow of a sannyasa that I give up everything, all except God. So that the mother thought that if I give the permission, at least my son will be satisfied, and maybe that some miracle will happen and the crocodile will leave my son. She gave the permission, and really the crocodile left. Without hurting the son, the Sankara came up and told mother, thank you, but I cannot go with you into the home. A sannyasi is not supposed to go back to his home. So that is the system. So Sankara, with the permission of the mother, left to become a true sannyasi. And he left and went on visiting all the temples, holy places in search of a guru. And ultimately he reached the Narmada. Narmada is a river. And on the banks of the Narmada, the many holy people they used to live. And in India, the 7 great rivers, all the time they are remembered, even in our the rituals, as because these rivers have given fertilized our land. So the people remember them, and on the bank of the Narmada, there were holy people also. They used to live. There, on the bank of the Narmada, he found his guru, and he met his guru, the great sage Govindapada. This Govindapada, receiving formal sannyasa, the monastic vow, from him, and also proper knowledge about Advaita Vedanta, the Sankara, with the blessings of his guru, reached Varanasi. Now this sannyasa is a unique conception, and most of the religion they are not having this conception. The Buddhists, they are having the sannyasa conception, and the Jains are also having, they leave their hearth and home and live in the sannyasin life. But among the Muslims, it is not there. And the Sufis, of course, they are there, but not in the concept that we are having, the sannyasins are having, the Buddhists and the Hindus. Among the Christians, the Catholic Christians, as the monastic vows are also there. Vows may be little different. The only thing is this: I am not going to harm anyone. Rather, all through my life, I should try to help others, love others, as the God loves me. As the Christians, they say, The God is loving me, the same way I should try to love others. And that is the vow of the sannyasi. Sannyasi cannot harm others, cheat others. If they are doing that, they are not sannyasis. Maybe putting on the garb. So that there are so many cheaters are there. In the garb of a doctor, they are cheating people, and in the businessman's the way they are cheating. So that is different. But a true sannyasa vow means sacrificing the life for the service of the others. That is the sannyasa. The Lord Buddha also did, Sankara did, and that is the tradition coming down. He took that vow that I am going to sacrifice myself for the betterment of others. And he learned Advaita Vedanta from his guru, the Govindapada. And he started for Varanasi. Why Varanasi? That is the place where they used to establish their own philosophy. Friends, at that time, the Hinduism was at the back foot, and they could not fight against the Jainism and Buddhism because the Jainism and Buddhism were supported by the powerful kings. So that is the history will come afterwards. But Sankara went to Varanasi because in those days it was the seat of learning, and all people used to come, the different faiths, used to come over there. Even there is a saying that, and there is the thought that it says, the Jesus Christ also went to Varanasi one time in his life, and he learned the Vedanta and also the yoga in Varanasi. Other people may believe it or not, but there are some books it supports like that. So they all used to go to Varanasi, and all the scholars will be in the Varanasi, and they will be debating, discussing. That is a unique way that they used to spread the philosophical knowledge among the ordinary people. So in India, the Guru Parampara is very, very important. Guru Parampara means the teacher line of ancestry. So from whom you have learned, that is very important. Because then immediately they will understand what the culture and the philosophy you are carrying. So that Guru Parampara. So Sankara, naturally, when he went over there, he was sitting before the other scholars. So they will ask, what is your Guru Parampara? From where you have learned? Just I'm going to talk with you. No, that they won't allow. So the Guru Parampara is very important. Some believe that Sri Sankara belongs to the line of Shukadeva. Now let me tell you the Guru Parampara as it is, and it is sometimes it is difficult to believe, but sometimes it is true. And it says, it begins with the sage Vashishta. Vashishta, some people they say Vashishta and Brahma, the firstborn, were equal. This is out of love. But Brahma was the firstborn, but Vashishta was the son of Brahma. With the son, father and the son relation, and the father was the teacher, son was the disciple, student. So the Vashishta, and his son was Rishi. This Rishi is a Shakti. Vashishta was a sage, and his son was also a Rishi. He was also a seer. His name was Shakti. Shakti's son was great Parashara. Many of us, we know him, this Parashara Muni. And then his son, very famous, Vedavyasa. Vedavyasa's son is Shukadeva, the great Shukadeva. All sannyasin, they accept him as their ideal. Each and every sannyasin will like the Shukadeva to become a Sukadeva. Why the Sukadeva? Because he was not, right from the birth, he was not having the body consciousness. No attachment in this world. Sannyasa means withdrawing the mind from all the sense objects and then concentrating the mind on your ideology, that is God or the Brahman, the Atman. The Shuka was a born sannyasin. So sannyasins, they like Shukadeva. So after that, this tradition of father and the son broke, and it became the guru and the shishya truly. And this Gaudapada, he was the disciple of Shukadeva. Gaudapada's disciple is Govindapada, and Govindapada's disciple was Shankaracharya. So Shankara's lineage comes from Vashishta, and he is in the line of Vedanta. Vashishta, we know that Yoga Vashishta, when we are studying, is a pure Vedanta. And it is coming down. The pure Vedanta means only Brahman is existing, and they won't believe anything else. But what is this world? That Shankara will explain very wonderfully. But that is the tradition coming down, the knowledge of the one consciousness which is Brahman, and that knowledge one can get that knowledge. How? By purifying the mind. And what is the process of the purification? That in different gurus will say in different way. There is a doubt, some scholars they say, the Shukadeva, because Mahabharata war, and Mahabharata, we know the Arjuna's grandson, when he was cursed by a Brahmin boy, the Shuka came to meet him. And by this bank of a river, he discussed the Bhagavata. All these traditions are there. So their little confusion is there. Is this the same Shukadeva? And Mahabharata was in the 3250 BC, before Christ, 3000 years BC. And Shankara was 500 years BC, if we accept that, 500 years. So naturally a gap of a long, big gap. The Shuka was almost in the 3000 years BC, and Shankara's guru's guru, the Gaudapada, so obviously if Shankara was 500, maybe 100 years before him, 200 years before him, not the 1000 years. So some people they doubt. But there is another version they say, it's not the physical guruship, the physically he is teaching, but the tradition accepted by a person. He also says that many of the people they will be telling, we are the disciples of Sri Ramakrishna. Sri Ramakrishna passed away in 1886. But present people they will say, we are the disciples of Sri Ramakrishna. They mean that we are the followers of his teaching. Maybe by that way, the Gaudapada, the great scholar, and in the history they always say the Advaitin, they say the Gaudapada means, he says there is no world at all. He never could see the variety, he only could see the one, the Brahman, in different names and forms. This Gaudapada learnt it from the Shukadeva, and that was the tradition to Bhava Shishya. It may be. The Gaudapada was the Bhava Shishya. What is Sri Shukadeva's ideal that the Gaudapada accepted? It can be said in the term as a pure Advaita Vedanta. Those who have studied the Gaudapada Karika, a famous book, we know there's a pure Advaita. What is the Advaita? There's a Vishishta Advaita and also Dvaita. The Vedanta, the Veda Anta, the end of the Veda, Advaita Vedanta, they say, the Veda means knowledge, Anta means the end, the Veda Anta, the end of the Veda, the knowledge. What is that? The knowledge of spirituality. And that may be in different way presented to the society. So Advaita means there is no two, or Dvaita, or means negative, Dvaita two. There is no two. Vishishta Advaita propounded by Ramanujacharya, and there is also another the branch, and third comes the Dvaita Vedanta. Dvaita Vedanta means completely duality. So here let us go to the Advaita. What is this Advaita? And this Advaita means the knowledge of one, Advaita. What is the basis of this? Suddenly someone comes, maybe Shukadeva, he comes and says, oh, there is only one and there is no two, like that. No. The basis is the Upanishad. Basis is the Veda. Why we the Hindus always take the Veda as the final word? Because it is not one rishi, it is not one person. For hundreds and thousands of years, so many varieties, so many different rishis came, but miraculously, they all realized the only one truth. So that's why we believe that. So that is very, very scientific. You know, those who are the student of Sri Ramakrishna Vivekananda, when the young Narendranath, 16, 17 years old, came to meet the Sri Ramakrishna with a great longing to know, is there God? He was asking this question to so many people. Then he came to Sri Ramakrishna and he said, in the Dakshineshwar it happened, Sir, have you seen God? The reply of the Sri Ramakrishna was, yes, I have seen him more clearly than I see you now. And I can show you that God too. That you can also see God, and that is called the scientific way. Only one person can see or can know or can talk, no one, no others. No, that is not scientific. If that person, whoever he may be, whatever the process, the procedure that he followed, the discipline he followed, if I follow that too, I am also supposed to get the same result. Why not? So that is Vedanta. Each soul is potentially divine. Vivekananda, afterwards, the great exponent of the Vedanta, each soul is potentially divine. And you can realize that truth by controlling nature, external and internal. That is the process. And what is that knowledge? I am one with each and everything. This knowledge that today one can achieve, one can have, the same knowledge was realized by the rishis of the old, not in one time, in different time. Let me give you a list of it. You can understand the great dictums, they say, Mahavakyas of the Veda. So first I will say, quote from the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. I am Brahman, aham brahmasmi. I am Brahman, a great statement. Most of the time the people will say we are all sinners. And there are some teachers, they will be telling, you are all sinners, you are all sinners. We are free, we are only pure. No, that is very wrong, very wrong. The God, if He has created this universe, we are all equal. Maybe because of your past karma, you are a little advanced, that much. We are all climbing the Mount Everest. Maybe you have started little earlier, so maybe you are on the second or third camp and I am in the base camp. It doesn't matter. I will reach over there someday. Because I too have the same capacity. Aham brahmasmi. I am that Brahman. Tattvamasi. Thou art that too. Look at this broadness. They never said that you are sinners. They never said that you cannot get it. Some of the people nowadays they are not only ignorant, they are completely ignorant about this and committing sin by telling people you are low born, you should not come to temple, you should not touch me. This is terrible. Hygiene, of course, you have to maintain, that is different thing. But you cannot say because of the birth a human being is low. Our Veda never teaches that. So Hindu should learn it, should understand it. If somebody is telling something else, we should not accept it. We always go for the Veda, our Upanishad. And the great Upanishad, Chandogya Upanishad says, Tattvamasi, you are that, thou art that. It's not a Brahmin or a Kshatriya or a Vaishya or Shudra. Anyone having that purity of mind, and that you will also realize God. This Atman is Brahman. Ayam Atma Brahman. Again the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad says. Why this Atman? Because the individual self is known as the Atman. Brahman, Atman. Individual self, that is Atman. And the sum total of all, if we say like that, it is Brahman. So this Atman, individual self, is also Brahman. And Brahman is knowledge. What we are talking about this Brahman, it is knowledge. Prajnanam Brahma. So this is also Aittiriya Upanishad, it says. Then again, after the realization, the rishis, they have given some statements like the Brahman is existence, knowledge and infinite bliss. Or we can say Brahman is existence and knowledge infinite. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. This is Taittiriya Upanishad. All this verily is Brahman. Chandogya again emphasizing all these is verily Brahman. That's why a true Hindu cannot denounce others, cannot criticize others, because the philosophy. As I was telling, philosophy is a fine way they give the history. And what is the history? The life of the human society. Is not only the chronologically recorded things of the human society. The history is the philosophy of that people. That's what Swami Vivekananda said. What is culture? This is the culture, the finest conception. So here we find that it says, Sarvam Khalu Idam Brahma. All these verily is Brahman. Sarvam, all, Khalu, truly, giving the emphasis. Idam, these, Brahman, and the consciousness. The Brahman is one without second. Chandogya says, Ekam eva aditiyam. Ekam eva. Ekam means one. Aditiyam, no two. There is no manyness in Brahman. Kathopanishad says. So when I am mentioning Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, Aittiriya Upanishad, Taittiriya Upanishad, Chandogya Upanishad, Kathopanishad, because in different times, in different regions, different rishis, they realize the same truth. But that is the basis of the Vedanta which Shankaracharya propounded. So we always go back to the Veda and the Upanishad, and we always take that as an authority. Hinduism is based on the Veda. And why it is authority? It is not only one book, but the one knowledge. It is not only one person telling you. Different people in different time period, in different places. But their realization is the same. Brahma Sutra of Badarayana means the Veda Vyasa, is condensed Upanishadic teaching. Because so many Upanishads and so many, he wrote Brahma Sutra. Sutra means aphorism. So there he is giving why this, why that, in the sutras they gave. He never explained, and it was left, we can say, marked for Shankaracharya. He wrote a wonderful commentary on the Brahma Sutra. And that way, he re-established the true Hinduism. Adi Shankara has not talked about any new truth. His main contribution is to put the Upanishadic truth that just we discussed, in a logical, rational frame to establish the knowledge of one and fixing the goal of the human life as Jivan Mukta position. Shankara always said, Jivan Mukti Sukha Prapti hetabe janmadharitam. All great, they will be always telling like that. The Shankara gave us the one, this is your goal. What is that? Jivan mukti sukha prapti. What is the Jivan mukta condition? Living in this life. I am having everyone, family, society, everything, but not attached to anything. Why? I know they are all temporary and I am not going to give whole mind to that. So that is called Jivan Mukta condition. We are discussing about the Jivan Mukta in different classes. The Jainism and Buddhism swept the whole India subcontinent with the support of the royals, and everywhere Hinduism went into the back foot. Jainism and Buddhism denied the authority of the Veda and became known as the Nastikya Dharma. Asti, Nasti, a Sanskrit term. Na asti, asti means they are, it is existing. Na asti, it is not existing. So Nastikya. Why Nastikya? Because they never believed in the existence of the Brahman. Nastikya. Sri Shankara faced them and based on the Veda re-established Astikya Dharma. Astikya means it is there. Shankara fought against the other philosophical schools and formally established Vedanta. Shankara and Mandana debate is very famous in the philosophical world. The Mimamsaka, in India there are 6 systems of Indian philosophy. These philosophical students, they know all. The Mimamsa is one of that. That was very powerful. The Shankara fought against them. He fought against the Buddhism, Jainism. Fought means he told that whatever you are trying to prove is not correct. They were also, mainly Buddhism, stress was given on morality, but Shankara said it is okay. But morality is not the goal. Morality is the path, is a system we are following. The goal is something else. What is the goal? I am not telling the untruth or falsehood. I am not cheating others, a good thing. But that is not the goal. Up to that only people they go and they stop over there. The goal is to become God himself or the Brahman himself. The goal should be that. So that is the debate. And here the Mimamsa, they were the Karma Kandis. In the Veda there is a Karma Kanda, Jnana Kanda. They said Karma Kanda is this. This is the problem. Karma Kanda, of course, good. What is the Karma Kanda? I know there is power, and to achieve that power, I should perform some mantras and some rituals. That is karma, yajnas. Many of the people, they always do like that. Now, if the yajnas that we are doing, nothing wrong. But when we say this is the only path and no other paths are valid, this is the problem. This dogmatism, they always become the one small group and they fight against others. Shankara removed all that. Of course you can practice that, but that is not the goal. There are many other things. The Shankara and Mandana Mishra, if you are interested, you can read that. It's a long conversation. Mandana never accepted the monastic life. Then after he himself became Shankara's disciple and a great monastic. Briefly, we can say Advaita Vedanta means, as the name itself they say, as the Vedanta is the end of the knowledge, and Advaita, that is oneness. The ultimate reality is one and not two. It can be known as Brahman. This is the first thing. In the Advaita Vedanta, the ultimate reality is only Brahman, and it is only one and not two. And again they will explain what type of two. So, Swagata Veda, like that, all this, I am not entering into that. So, this is only one. Its nature is, how you will know that it is there? It is nature is existence, that is Sat, consciousness, Chit, and the bliss, Atman. No one wants to die. No one wants to die. Where from that feeling came? Suddenly it has come? No. So because in original nature it is there. That is there, that is called the existence, the Sat. We would like to know. Even if you look at, I was in a jungle visiting, and there I found the rhino kids, the small, the baby rhinos, they're coming out to see how these people are visiting. But the mothers are coming and pushing them inside. The bigger mothers knew that maybe they'll be danger, so they were pushing them. But the children, they want to know. They were coming out. So knowledge, human children, you'll find all the time asking question. Knowledge, where from it came? This is Chit. Because the original thing, it must be there. So Sat, Chit, and each and every one of us, we need Ananda, the joy, and that is called the bliss. So what is the nature of this Brahman? Sat, Chit, Ananda. Atman, the consciousness that is present in every individual soul, is also Brahman. Why? They say, whom we call the Atman, the self, that is nothing but the reflection of the great consciousness. Is it a small part that broke and came into us? Not like that. It is the reflection of the consciousness, and that is so powerful. Just because of the reflection, we become so powerful. We deny the original. We say, I don't believe in God, I don't believe in Brahman, I am everybody, and they are going in doing the exercise, making the strong body, and the more strong, the more I. But who is this I? Where from you have come? They don't know. They don't like to know. That is called ignorance. This I is the ignorance. The Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna says, Ami mole ghuchibe janjal. We always repeat that. The I, the ego, when it goes away, then there will be no problem. The Atman, which is the reflection of the Supreme Brahman within our intellect, that is also Brahman. True understanding of all this is called Mukti. So what is the ultimate goal? Mukti, liberation. It is not the practice of the morality. Practice of morality is only the path that makes the mind pure, but it takes us to the goal. And what is that goal? The goal is liberation, the Mukti. What is the bondage? Bondage is desire. And what happens? It takes us into the circle of birth and death. And the majority of the people, we all know, most of the time, our life is full of misery. We live only on hope. The happiness will come, we go on. The mother, with a great hope, if my son grows up, gets a good job, goes to a good place, then the happiness will come. It happened. The son grew up, got the job, went to a foreign country, again the mother is left alone. Again the suffering. So its sufferings are always there. Understanding that, when we can say enough is enough, then we are ready to understand Vedanta. According to Sankara, this world in reality is Brahman, but appears in multiple names and forms, Vibhinna Nama Rupa, because of Maya, the inherent power of Brahman. So naturally the question comes, every philosophy, they have to answer the three questions. Who is the creator? What is this creation? And what is the relation between the creator and the creation? That's all. All philosophy. The way they say like that, that becomes the path for the followers of that philosophy. The Shankara says, this world that we see, with so many varieties of names and forms, millions and millions, is nothing but the Brahman, same Brahman, in different forms. So obviously, how it is possible? The modern day people, they give the example, when one light is passing through, and many different colors are coming because of the prism. And the prisms we have seen, and the different sections will be there, and when the light is passing through, someone from this corner will see that as a yellow or blue or red or different colors. Same light, one light. So how it is possible? The same way, the power of God, which is known as Maya, as long as one will remain deluded with Maya's power, one will suffer. So this world that we see is nothing but our own imagination. And why we imagine? Because of the power of God force us to imagine, and that is called Maya. So friends, I feel like chanting the first mantra of the Dakshinamurti. The Dakshinamurti Stotra, the famous stotra composed by Shankaracharya. There he gives his idea. I won't read the whole mantra, only the first one. And we chant like this with the tune. Vishwam darpana drishyamana nagari tullam nijantar gatam pashyannatmani mayaya bahiri bodhbhutam yatha nidraya yat sakshat kurute prabodha samaye Svatmanamevadvayam Tasmai Shri Guru Murtaye Nama Idam Sri Dakshina Murtaye Sri Dakshina Murtaye. The Dakshina Murti, the Guru, is called the Shiva. Shiva is the Guru. I pay the respect to the Dakshinamurti because he is looking to the south. Literally, Dakshin means south. But what is the south? The Hindus, they always believe the south is the door of death. So the Lord, the Guru, the Shiva, auspiciousness, looking as the death means he will stop you suffering, your suffering. The Dakshinamurti, because he is benign. Who is the Guru? Who at the time of spiritual awakening has verily realized his own self, the one without a second. Having understood that the world is within oneself, even as a city reflected in a mirror is but projected as if it is outside. By Maya, it is a dream. So quickly I am giving in a mirror, when we see something, some reflection, we think it is outside. That is the only difference. When you see something reflected in the mirror, the things outside, inside the mirror we see. And here we see the world which is not outside, only within me. If the Shiva Guru, the auspiciousness, bless us, we understand this. Friends, I conclude the liberation, mukti, is the goal of every human soul, and by practicing morality, unselfishness, and love, one can purify one's mind and instantly merge in one's own true self, which is Brahman. And that is exactly what our great teacher Shankaracharya is teaching us. We all bow down to the Shankaracharya. Thank you, friends. If there is any question, let us.
So the first question, he's saying, I am trying to get rid of my old habits and trying to get rid of my lower mind. I am dependent on Swamiji's literature and your lectures. I don't have a direct guru guidance. please help me to check myself so I can walk on right path and not fool myself as I was doing all my life.
Oh, it's a great thing, friend, that you have understood and now you are rectifying. That's all. The moment you say that I am going to follow the path of religion, that very moment you are a religious person, and it is all our resolutions, that's all, nothing else. The moment you say, some people I know, they were chain smokers. Then one day they decided that I am going to give up the smoking. They gave up. One day they gave up. So that is the mind. If you think that I am not going to do anything that will ruin my character or my life or my thinking process, that's all. And if you need, if you are nearby, I don't know, or you can call me over phone to discuss. We can discuss about that. But only thing, 2-3 things that you have to do first, strong resolution. I am going to be all right, going to be fine. And you have chosen the best guru, Swami Vivekananda, his teaching. But to understand Vivekananda's teaching, what you should do, so that we can discuss, but make a routine and try to follow that. That's all. It will be all right. Thank you.
The next question is from Kalyan Ghosh. He is asking, is Advaita Vedanta related to Buddhism? Some scholars, even other Vedantic philosophers like Ramanuja, accused Advaita to be influenced by Buddhists.
Right. You are correct. They actually, the Buddhists also, they said, a Sunyavada, a group of, a school of Buddhists, the Sunyavada they propounded, and Shankaracharya said that this world is nothing but Maya. So the Ramanuja accused, and some people they accused, that Prachanna Buddhist. Buddhism was earlier. The Shankara is telling like this, that means you have learned from the Buddhism and now presenting in your own way. But it is not. Shankara's, the philosophy is completely different, and it is very positive, nothing negative. So it is not following the Buddhism. No, that is not the true.
The next question is, he is asking, some people say God's name should not be chanted at unholy places. Is it right? Even Chaitanya Deva said, we can chant God's name has no particular place and time.
But that is, you know that when Chaitanya Dev say, Mahaprabhu said, then who am I to say that? God's name means what? It makes things holy. Anywhere, any time, you can take the name of God. You are taking within, so it's nothing. The unholy things that we think, it is already within our body, isn't it? All the filthy things are already in our body, and we are carrying our body to the temple. The most great priest, what is he? So he is also having all the filth within him, and he is so pure. And what about us? It's nothing like that. God's name is the most holy thing that we can chant, and wherever we chant, that place become holy.
The next question is, being a householder, how can we get bliss or ananda in family life?
The bliss, that yes. So that is what Swami Sri Ramakrishna is telling. So if you are a householder, perform your own duty diligently, but in an unattached way. As a father, as a mother, whatever the responsibility you must do, and you should do in 100%. But at the same time, it should be a little unattached. No, I am not. This is not the final thing. So by that way, slowly, this will come. A few days before, I gave a talk on the Mother's Day. So the other mothers, in the beginning, the ideology was the Brahmavadini. When the second it came, that it was necessary for the mothers, the women, to develop the families, so they developed that way. So they were following the householder's life. And there are many stories are also there, inspiring. So don't bother about that you are a householder. Just do your duty diligently and go on taking the name of God and disassociate with all those things that you are thinking is permanent. No, nothing is permanent. Everything will be temporary. If you can disassociate slowly, then you will find you are in great bliss, in joy.
The next question is, how can I kill my I?
Oh, this this is the greatest problem, because we are fighting our mind with the help of our mind. If we are rectifying or fighting something else outside, then we can understand. There is no one to help me because I am fighting my mind. And if my mind is deceiving me or guiding me, that's why in the Bhagavad Gita it says, make your mind your friend. So if you are making your mind your friend, then it will be really good. How can you make your mind friend? That slowly you have to practice little meditation, withdrawing the senses, and then you can put it in a proper way. And then it will come. You just think in this way, the bichara, as the Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna says, the before me so many people came in this society, after me also so many people will come. Who am I? What speciality is there in me? So this I will automatically go. Suppose you were a scientist. Before you so many scientists came. After you also many great scientists will come. Now at this moment, whatever the knowledge you are having on science, you are just giving it to the society for their betterment. That's all. Where from the ego comes is a doctor, an administrator, as a minister. If we think in this way, the work will be more perfect and life will be more happier. Thank you.
Kalyan Ghosh is asking a very similar question again. He's saying, is egolessness or I, not I, similar to concept of Atman of the Buddhists?
So, Kalyan Babu, maybe that Buddhist, another day we will discuss. I think the Buddha Jayanti is coming. On that day we may try to discuss that. So it is now the time is over. So we can discuss the Buddhism and the Vedanta in a different way. This is a big another discussion. Thank you.
One last question. Anonymous is not giving the name. He's saying, for the current system, I had to take some rupees, not in a proper way. I am trying to give it up. How does my morality remain and my family pressure?
So this is really very difficult. So according to the situation, but try to be away from that. This, that as always they say, the bribes that ruins your the all mind. Those who give the bribes and those who takes the bribes, they always understand it is not the good thing that they are doing. Maybe the society is not noticing. Maybe we won't be arrested by the police or any law enforcement department. But within yourself you can feel, no, it is not the good thing. And if there is no feeling for that, that means humanity is dead within your mind. So since you are thinking that this is not a good thing that I am doing, try to be away from that. Little extra money may give little extra comfort, but suppose it is not there, what is there? Millions of people with less money, they are surviving. I will also survive like that. That way, if you do, try to convince your family members, and slowly you'll be free from all that. And the happiness will come, blessings of God will also come. Thank you.
The next question is, I love the concept of Advaita Vedanta, but in crisis, I only get relief in the feet of Ma Sharada.
Bah.
While concentrate, I can imagine the figure of Ma Sharada, but not Thakur. Is it wrong?
It's not at all wrong. And because, the Maya that you are talking about, Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna has brought that Maya, which is the that very difficult force of the Lord that binds the minds. And now this time Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna make that Mahamaya as mother, always compassionate, always ready to help. And she has promised, always you should feel when there is no one, I am there. And if you call me with a devoted, longing heart, as the children they cry for mother, once only as mother, I will be there with you. Of course, have that faith. Don't bother about all this Advaita Vedanta. This is a philosophy, but it needs time to understand and to reach up to that. And you are doing the best thing. Hold on to Mother. Never leave her holy feet. Very good. Let us say Shanti 3 times and we conclude. Om Shanti, 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 Hari Om Tat Sat.